I'm here in beautiful downtown Long Beach on the famous historic Pine Avenue. We're going to be talking to two young gentlemen, Bobby Kronk and Matt Brown, about the food industry and all the ins and outs about it. This is a special edition of The Station. Well, back here in the cozy studio, I'm Carlos Lumix. This is The Station. Our two special guests tonight are Bobby Kronk and Matt Brown. They're going to talk to us all about the food industry and all its ins and outs. One thing I've always wanted to know was, what is the waste rate of doing business in a restaurant? I know there must be a huge amount of stuff that's actually wasted and discarded.
Well, waste rate, if you're talking what's popular right now, is the plastics and all these disposables that are going out to sea, right?
Right.
That seems like what the big topic is. Mayor Garcia signed yesterday, I think, that he's banning
styrofoam.
All styrofoam is gone. Same with plastic straws. Gladstones has eliminated all plastic straws. They're going for paper straws. So that's a step maybe in the right direction. But end of the day, if, you know, in Sacramento, there's a bill proposed that if you bring a table plastic straws without them asking first, the server, the waiter, can face a $1,000 fine or jail time.
If you bring a straw without requesting it?
Right. It's just a bill. It hasn't been passed into law. But end of the day, I think it's a little too extreme. I don't think it'll ever pass into law. But at what end? You know, if I go to jail for giving people straws, I am going to have a point where I'm in jail and people are asking me, "What are you in for?" And I say, I gave him straws. And I spend time, and then next thing you know,
they're going to take all your jelly, man.
Yeah, I get out of jail, and I got loop-de-loop straws tattooed all over my body.
Well,
you know,
they give me a straw, but I don't open it, and I leave it there, and I assume they recycle it.
You can't use it again.
Even if it's not opened?
If anything hits the table, the rule of thumb is it goes in the trash. Doesn't matter if it's alcohol, sodas, even entrees. If it hits the table, you're supposed to just toss the entire thing.
So this straw that I haven't opened because they give it to me with water, I don't open it and I drink the water because I never use the straw.
Sure.
Well, they can't recycle and put it back because it hasn't been opened, or they have to throw it out.
You could have rubbed your nuts and grabbed that straw and not used it. So we don't know. We don't know.
That's pretty dramatic.
There's a lot of nut rubbing in restaurants. People don't realize.
Okay, so that's the paper waste, right?
Right. Well, plastic.
And, okay, so the other issue is I'm guessing like a calorie issue, just wasted, burnt nutrition essentially, and I'd say about 50% of everything that's made in a restaurant gets thrown away or not used at all, and there's a huge transient community that could really benefit from that, especially at a place where I used to work at, and you have 80 loaves of bread at the end of the night. But the issue is you can't have 100 people lined up when you close and have basically like a church giveaway, which would be great, but you just can't do it for aesthetic reasons and for your out of the kindness of your hearts.
No. I proposed it long ago. If you are going to take your items to go and you plan on donating to the homeless people, much like maybe a driving range goes, is outside of the restaurant we have a series of targets, and they're bins, but when you're done with your food, you take a hook and you try to nail that food into a specific bin. Most people aren't that good at it, and it's going to splatter. But end of the day, if you look at the bin, it's designated for the needy, so if you get a ringer, somebody might get a winner chicken dinner. You understand?
But is that bin...
It's messy, and it attracts the seagulls, and that is a problem in Long Beach.
Is there anything different about that bin that's been designated for the homeless?
No, you can get them from Home Depot.
So that could be it had been used for something more vile. And then but the homeless would go in there and go to that bin?
Well, I mean,
it wouldn't be sanitary, and there's no way you can monitor it. That's the issue.
Oh, great. You talk to Joe Hobo about his sanitary conditions. I mean...
Well, I'm just saying you don't want to get E. coli or anything like that. That might cause more problems than
I'm just
anything.
trying to make a sport.
Now, do they do that down there at the Pike on those restaurants?
Hawking food into bins for the
Yeah.
homeless? No, not yet, not yet. We're waiting for 2020, the Olympics. We have to establish it really. We have to have all restaurants participating. That's possible.
Wings and things.
So
It's
what do they
possible.
do now? Do you get them coming in during the night when they are rummaging around and looking for stuff? Is that what they're doing now?
No, a lot of people they straight up go in there and they'll order something, and our policy is we'll call the cops or whatever, and that's fine. But they'll order something and, like, I was just hungry, I wanted a burger, send me to jail. That's fine. Like, I was hungry, and then they get another couple days of food and shelter. So
Well, the restaurant I work at has a outdoor patio with a soda station, and at one point we had to start locking up the soda machines because they go to the CC tapes and they're homeless people Dr. Pepper parties, and everybody is just like, we haven't sold this much Dr. Pepper in 6 months, and then we go look at the CC tapes and they're just, I don't know what they're mixing it with, but they're having a free for all because we didn't unlock the machine. Or left the machine unlocked.
yep, soda parties happens.
When I went down there recently, I parked way down in that the self-service parking lot and walked around, and I noticed that some of the homeless are at least in the daylight hours, were on that crossover bridge.
The Queens Way?
Yeah,
Little parkway.
but I think they were like in transit. But I didn't see any permanent shelters or semi-lean.
Anybody's in transit if they're walking, so you got to be a little more specific.
Well, I mean, I could tell they were pushing that back.
Sure.
That's the kind of thing I was looking at.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Sure.
But I didn't see anybody in the bushes or shrubbery so
No.
far. I don't know if you have that problem yet or not.
No, they actually have a whole different security force for that particular area of Long Beach that basically, you have to move around, or they chase them off, basically, or, you can't stay here. They can't legally tell them not to walk around because it's legally state beach property. Again, since it's a beach property, the beaches technically close at 10 o'clock, which is also a weird concern for patrons as well, because a lot of those places don't close till 11 or 1 in the morning. So you can get a ticket by walking around, even though you just left an establishment after 10. I've been approached by the police myself, and I'm like, what do you think I was doing here? I had a work shirt on and everything.
He was pushing a shopping cart, let's be fair.
No, I was going to my car.
Which- Two
Had
LCD
all his
TVs in
laundry
it?
in it. There was a tent. There was, like some plush toys. Come on. Let's be honest.
So you have that one problem. So you say the police and they have their own force to crack down on these people. So that must mean that
It's a private force, though. It's not it has nothing to do with the police. The Port Police can do that, and technically they're allowed to do it. They don't really enforce it because there is a development program which runs downtown Long Beach, past the ocean, so that they have their own security force that monitors that area, including the parking structure that you were referring to.
the parking structure.
Those are the people that run around in those little red carts, aren't they? Or those ones-
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are underneath Long Beach City. They're called guides,
Yeah.
and their whole job is to basically just
They can guide you to find some fine marijuana.
they can guide you to get the hell out of there. Yeah.
Welcome to Long Beach.
A little extra under the table.
They got a
That one-
segue. They'll be back in 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
It's
Oh,
impressive.
wow. How many instances in that whole area? Now, I would consider that a medium upscale area. How many instances do you have of people just getting up and walking out without paying? It's been happening recently in a lot of Sizzlers and Denny's, but that's in L.A. I don't know what they. Have you run into it?
There's a gentleman I remember where he came in with a Vietnam jacket. He's 26. Doesn't seem right. Please don't seat me with this guy. So I give the head nod to the hostess, and they give obviously to the new girl. And he sits down, orders a expensive $16 cheeseburger at a seafood restaurant, which is a little peculiar, to say the least. She ends up dropping off the bill, and in a sleeve, and drops it off. And next thing you know, he's gone. She sends some boy into the bathroom to go look in the boys' restroom or whatever. Then she realizes, she opens up the book. It's completely empty. She runs out the front door. She's 2 weeks into her employment at this restaurant, so she's taking off running after this guy. In front of the restaurants, we have a valet crew, and 10 or 12 of them. They start running after this guy. And then, next thing you know, there's a whole cavalcade of people running out. The Long Beach PD and their bike patrol pick up Chase too. They get him. They, knock him down and, find out what the deal is. And because he had no money, it was burglary. Now, had he had the $16 for that cheeseburger, and they just, took it from his wallet to pay his bill, that's defrauding an innkeeper. But this man, which we found out, just got out of jail, took the blue line down to Long Beach, went straight to the beach, which is just south to the water, had himself a cheeseburger, and took a free ride back to jail.
Yep, free housing.
That was classified as burglary?
Burglary.
Yep.
And if he had had the money on him, he would have...
Defrauding an innkeeper.
Well, I also understand that the hostess or the waiter or waitress has to pay that if they never find the person. Is that true?
Correct.
Eh.
Allegedly, it depends on the establishment that you work at, but that's basically the rule of thumb is if the restaurant's not going to pay for it, if not, then you pay for it, so it's basically...
I would
Don't
write
let
it
him do
off
that.
as a tax write-off because I'm donating to the homeless. End of the day.
That would be smart.
Would that be possible with the establishment?
It would be, but it's almost like a catch-22 because a lot of places, like let's say a Yard House, they require after 8 o'clock that you put down a credit card. You don't have to use it, but in case everybody just up and bails, the gratuity might have been, if you let's say 18%, it might have been like $350. You pay out $100.
If a party's large enough, they're gonna declare it a service charge.
Yeah.
And they're gonna put.
But it's not
100
mandated anymore. Some places don't have gratuity.
Some
all.
place- Some places.
Some places,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's
fucking
interesting.
find a Wendy's in Long Beach. Some places.
Foster
Yeah,
Freeze.
but the majority of the fucking places, there's 18% gratuity included on parties 8 or more. And if you're doing a banquet and you have 40, 50 people, they're going to assign 2 or 3 waiters, and to make it worth their time, they're going to assign a service charge that is dividable by 3 of the servers that you have. That's worth their time.
Is the service charge interpreted as a gratuity?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so they call it a service charge.
sure.
Okay. Because I went to San Francisco and during Thanksgiving, but we ate out and I bought some dinner and I noticed that on the bill it had about a 4-category list of what they thought the gratuity should be. which-
Sure.
Recommended.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked at that, so I always tip at the high, the largest rate,
Sure.
or double the tax, and then I round off to the nearest dollar if it gets,
Yeah.
But I just noticed that they did that, and I don't see that down here too much. But I haven't eaten in a large restaurant like that.
Well, service charge is kind of
I haven't seen that.
nondescript and ubiquitous. It's everywhere. If I go to Angel Stadium and I buy a ticket at the concession at the booth, there's a $3 service charge
And that's what it
from them handing me something. It's a service charge.
Or Bank of America if you want to
is. A handling fee,
A
Yeah.
handling fee.
restocking fee. That's crazy. Well, I mean, that's not crazy. It's funny that they would call it that. So it obviously has to be divided up in categories for taxes.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but in the service industry, as far as servers go, it's the taxes are basically paid all by the server. So you hand people money, tip everybody out, but you're the one declaring all the taxes. So it doesn't matter what you make, really. You're declaring taxes for the people.
really, that
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that complicated.
Yeah.
Jeez. How often do they restock their restaurants? I mean, do they find that certain things are selling and other things are kind of slow and or just not being ordered at all?
Well, hopefully every day you want to restock. You want fresh produce, like avocados and things like that, especially in a fish market where Bobby works at. You want that to be as fresh as possible. and then the chef gets kind of creative and makes fish chowder out of it or whatever if it is about to turn. But protein's expensive, and especially if you're talking wild fish, like fresh caught stuff, it's expensive. If you watch Deadliest Catch, I mean, people die going crab fishing. It's like $55 a pound. That's not bad, dude. Joe died doing that. Like it's not
Some dumb motherfucker died in the harbor. He's at. The name of the boat's called the Gale Force. You can look at this.
I've seen that. It's over at Port Sacal.
Yeah, it's shoreline. It goes back
It's
to
not
the
there. They're tearing down Port Sacal.
Okay, well, this boat.
They already did.
Yeah,
It's done.
Let me
did
finish
the big
it.
restaurant go?
Yeah.
Is it gone? The big one?
It's torn down. It's an empty lot right now.
Anyway, owner, captain, Gale Force. It's maybe 6 years ago.
Oh, he choked on an anchovy, didn't he? Something weird.
Yeah. So he's taking kids out for intro into sailing sort of bit, and the guy's known as being really good with kids, and they're about to cast their lines, and he holds a sardine above his head, and he's like, the little fucking slippery fucker drops into his gullet, and because the way the scaling with sardines is, they can't swim backwards. It's all barbs going that way. They gotta go that way. So this guy hits the deck, and he's dying. The kids think he's just eating it up, like, what a ham this old man is. And then they have to take him back to shore, and there's grief counselors, and they're like...
I have to say this, bless his heart.
So he died?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
In front of a bunch of school kids.
No,
Was
they
the
took,
ship
him,
docked or
they
was it
took him
boat?
below deck.
No, they just picked up the bait, and it's good luck to bite the head off a sardine or anchovy, whatever, and an old fisherman thing, and this dude choked.
So his little
on
exhibition backfired.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, an anchovy. Oh.
Or the herring, whatever it was, bait fish. But
Do you get all your deliveries in the morning really early? I see a lot of trucks, they
I don't
come
know,
in.
it's, what is it, Santa Monica Seafood?
Because you're getting seafood from so many different restaurants from all regions, you're getting, fish from Baja at 7 in the morning, and then 9 o'clock you're getting, here's our Hawaiian shipment, and you're getting some ahi tuna and, all the other opa and all this other stuff. So it's throughout the day continuously, if you're rocking and rolling.
How does a manager pick a thing called a manager special? What is he, or do they really do it, or is it just something that got left over and they put it on?
He got a good deal on it, or something left over. Yeah, it's one of the two.
Is that what it is? When I went in to a restaurant where you work, they had a cheeseburger, and it was on their special list, and so I ordered. It was good, actually. It was huge.
Oh.
It had $16, but they had the greatest French fries.
Yeah, the burgers.
Finally, somebody.
Legit, half pound.
Yeah, those French fries were great. Most of the time they cook them in hair tonic or something because they don't
Hair
look.
tonic.
Yeah, they just look terrible. They're weak and they like wet noodles.
No,
Those are crisp.
It's grilled. It's grilled there.
Yeah, is that what it is? Is that what it is?
No, the French fries are it's a beer battered French fry variety, and that's
Oh, I
That's
think
why
it's
they're
burger. I'm
it's
looking out for it.
a third party source. They beer batter them, flash fry them. Excuse me, insta fry them, and
Blanch them.
then we get them.
Oh, so they're made somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good though.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
like executive chef at one point lined up 6 or 7 varieties of French fries from different vendors, and we all got to go by and take a fry, dip it in ketchup, and vote. Just make a mark, and the beer battered fry is the one we currently use.
That's the one. That's the one I'm addicted to now.
Oh man, I know a guy. I know a guy. You want to get some fries?
I know it kind of. When I was walking away, I was kind of. I didn't know that though. But that's interesting. They're not even made on the premises, right?
No, a lot of fries aren't. A lot of fries in most places aren't.
The potato chips are made on premises though.
They do make chips, but fries are generally made off-site, flash frozen at a major place, and then just for convenience sake. I mean, the restaurant's already busy chopping the heads off ahi tunas and swordfish. What the hell?
Yeah.
Why the hell are we chopping up potatoes? Where we can get a good quality product that is made semi-locally and that we can just produce.
Yeah.
What's the turnover on servers?
High.
I mean,
Is it?
is there some people
Yeah.
that really just like dealing with people, or they're just doing it as an intermediary step to something else?
I've waited on guys that are currently highly decorated Air Force pilots.
Oh, waiting on.
No,
Eric,
Eric Rebolt.
Yeah.
They're waiters?
No,
No,
he used
no.
to be. He started there.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
surprised
so
that he got
nowadays-
into pilot school. 'Cause
I
he's
think he
like,
went back the other way.
he's like
No,
he's
no.
like 6'7" though. I'm like, how do you fit in a plane, dude? Like,
Stump
But,
bent
like-
over.
yeah.
At the other
for like
other
12
side,
hours.
you got somebody who's like their first job out of high school is working at a restaurant, and they can't understand how a fork and a knife can so miraculously wrap around a single cloth. You know, your
Yeah.
silverware setup.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a high turnover of people, but I think by and large, everybody that works at a restaurant comes away with appreciation for the service industry. You know, I mean, it's something
It's
that
a hard job.
it is. I mean, it's a simple job, but it can be tricky.
My favorite thing is when people sit down and like, hey, you know what? I'm a huge tipper. I'm like,
They tell
so
you
full
that?
of shit right now. You don't even know.
I mean, did they actually announce that?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I tip huge. Or I used to work as a bartender. I'm like, no, you didn't.
And was,
Because he would not
was
even mention
he's
that.
just trying to impress you, or he's already smashed?
But I think both, or trying to look cool or something. I don't know. But I'm like, okay, you're gonna leave me 5%, and you can judge a table just by talking to them in the first 3 seconds. So like, millionaires wear sandals. They don't have Gucci shoes. You know, it's like.
Usually, when I go into a restaurant, I see the menu, I pick the menu, but I don't really ask for substitutes. I usually eat what they give me.
Yeah, chef's
You know,
recommendation,
'cause
that's
but I've
cool.
sat next to other people that just tear the whole thing apart. You know, it's like 5 easy pieces. Hold the bread, hold the mayonnaise.
I had a lady.
Where,
Ordered
where
a
did,
salad.
Where did gluten come from? I don't know where.
That was my middle name.
Gluten?
Gluten?
It's a wheat protein. Besides the point. Anyway, this lady comes into the restaurant, orders our chef's seafood salad. It's got crab. It's a version of a Louis salad. Just candied walnuts,
Oh,
blue cheese
yeah.
crumbles, bacon.
Thousand
Right.
Island-ish.
So, yeah, Thousand Island, generally. And she's like, instead of the romaine, I want iceberg. And instead of, do you have any different types of nuts besides the walnuts? I'm like, no, that's all we got. I'm like, oh, put those on the side. Fine. Instead of blue cheese crumbles, I'd like shredded cheddar. And instead of the dressing, ranch dressing would be preferable. I don't like tomatoes, so keep those off. And what else is on that salad? Bacon bits. Could I just have strips of bacon? I'm like, Jesus Christ. Lady,
Why
when
did
I
you
send
be
this
like,
single
nah?
order to the kitchen, it's this long for one salad. And I don't understand. I agree it's a $20 salad, but slow the hell down. So we put this into the kitchen, and they competently make it. They produce exactly what this lady wanted.
They'll actually do it.
They did it. And I go check on her. I'm like, well, how's your salad? She's like, I really didn't like it. You made it. You made that salad. You made it.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't like what you made. You produced the salad. And you're telling me that you didn't like how the chefs made your salad. So I go tell a manager, and I say, hey, she doesn't really like her salad, but she wants a to-go box. She wants to take the rest of it home, so maybe she can do something with it.
Like, who knows? Huh?
So
Yeah.
The
I was
response
thinking a very
was-
awkward comment there.
the response was, well, either we can comp the salad completely off their menu, or they can call in later and complain, and we give them a $50 gift card, and then you'll have to wait on her again.
And so
A
she
$50
complained
gift
about
card?
after
I'm
all
gonna go there tomorrow. Dude.
made to order salad, right?
She made her own salad. She went to a salad bar, put her salad together, and went to the manager and were like, this is garbage. Like, well, lady, you put that together. Your tastes are garbage, obviously. Like, she modified everything on the salad to where it was inedible to her own palate. And then she wanted it comped,
And it was all on the side.
which they comped.
Wow.
They comped.
But then this person
And
has
then
a
they sent her a
reputation.
letter, hey, come on back. Here's $50. Come give some other guy a hard time.
But then you know who this person is, though, and they come back.
Oh, I can remember a face. Yeah.
But what if she did come back? What would happen?
I would humbly tell the hostess, "You better not fucking see me with that lady."
Oh,
Are we clear?
and
I'd say to tell her, if you don't like your salad, then don't come back. That's me. That's why I get yelled at a lot.
But okay, you just said that she made it. The salad was ordered from the menu, right?
It was off the menu, yeah.
So and then the chef made it
It was
per
preference
request,
order,
right?
All modifications instead of this.
With all
instead of
the
this,
substitutes and
this,
changes.
instead of this, instead of
And
this,
then-
this, and on a receipt where normally that salad with no modifications
Oh, that you mean the ticket in the window?
ticket is
Yeah.
about this big. Hers is this big.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's a busy restaurant. This guy making salads has other things to do, but he did it properly.
And the way she wanted it.
Cook fresh bacon.
And then
you know,
she
not bacon
complained
bits,
about it,
and-
right?
Correct.
And
Got it free.
that'll probably be the last time we'll ever see her come back. I mean, if she comes
no,
back,
no. It's
They sent her a $50 gift card.
It's
They said.
it's encouraging bad behavior when you go into restaurants like this, and this is a scourge that's happening in all the restaurants.
Who
And
started that?
who knows? But it's
If you don't like something, I mean, I wouldn't go back there. That's my opinion. I'm like, yeah, this
there's a new trend now.
hero
If you
sandwich
go
isn't
into
good.
a
I'm not gonna
nice
be
or
back.
if you go into a nice or semi-expensive restaurant and you make slight modifications, that's no problem. I mean, the kitchen is going to do whatever they can to appease you. But if you completely alter and modify the menu to where it's something that the executive chef would never put on his menu, and then you consume it and don't like it, that's on you. But as long as you're loud enough and just body enough to bring it up, they will discount your bill, and you get to come away with okay, maybe you had a bad experience at the restaurant because of the salad you made yourself, but you got it for free.
And,
And-
she
and
took
it's
it
a
to go.
thing.
I would have taken that shit out of her fucking hand and thrown it away and looked her in the eye doing it. That's me.
so has
Sorry.
that,
That's me.
has that person ever returned? I mean, maybe I know you couldn't.
She might be in a wig and different makeup, but
Might have been a he, she. Never know.
or what? Or
Sorry,
something.
that just
You couldn't resist it.
boiled my.
no, I haven't seen her.
Have you ever, in your entire time in serving, lost your temper with a customer?
Yeah,
And an example would be,
not fairly recently.
oh,
What about a dishwasher?
Dishwasher, yeah. Well, that's different. That's behind the house. Um,
Go on.
This is around Grand Prix, and there's some the younger kids, and they're asking about the menu and what's going on. So, and they're cool. Like, I'm taking care of them. One of them ordered a beer, had questions about a beer. Fine, carded them. They're all of age, right? They're all of 21-ish. At least the guy that ordered the beer is 21. I know that. And then cut to, I have to take my lunch break, so I have to relieve them to another server for about, because they're only going to be there for another 10 or 15 minutes while I take my break, right? And then, so I get off for my lunch break, they're finishing up, and all the bill comes back to me. I get all the tips and all that comes back. So I come back from my lunch break, and their bills are all left at the table. That's all split checks. That's fine, right? So I go and pick up the check, and there's 5 of them, I believe. But on one of them was $24.89. Here's a 20 and a 5. That's 11 cents. Great. 23.24. There's 20 and $4. Well, that's a kick in the nuts. I go to the next one.
Well, 420 is
uh,
not bad.
No, it's like $2 and something.
Well, yeah. that's bad.
Can we
So you
can we
mean-
rewind real quick? I think it was about $2.30. Long story short, is like the total tip ended up being no more than $3 or $4 for a $50 bill. And I'm coming back from my break, and they're finishing up. They're in the line for the restroom. I'm like,
So-
hey guys, was everything good?
So it
Was-
costs you money, basically.
Completely. But I'm like, was everything good? How was the service? They're like, oh no, you were fantastic. You were great. I'm like, well, this tip implies that I might have offended your mother, maybe your grandmother. But this one is even worse. I'm like, and this one? I'm like, and they're just dumbfounded. And they're like millennials, and they're just sort of, well, like, I thought you just said I gave you great service. And this bill just implies that I gave you terrible service. And they're like, I don't understand. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'll see you guys later. And I take my little walk, and I start doing my job. Next thing you know, I see 4 millennials at the front desk at the hostess station trying to flag down whoever's in charge here. Whoever's in charge here. All right? And they get the man. They get the GM there. Who has no name.
Fun with that. Yeah.
Who has no name.
And wears a mask.
And he's busy as shit anyway. And he's just saying, well, he would never say anything like that. That's just bizarro. Well, let me take down your information.
Here's $100 gift
Send you a
card.
gift card. But I had to call these people out because, listen, you're a millennial. That's fine. I know you're online, right? And say I went to a nice restaurant on the waterfront, and we had a great experience. We had a great server. And then he gave us a big problem about the tip that we left. Well, I'm obviously going to get online and Google what an appropriate tip is for a $60 check. Fuck. You know, they're going to realize, yeah, they did screw me over, and there's a reason that I called them out. But yeah, I've done it once, and it was 2 kids. If it was some sweet old, Jewish lady, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. You know, it's fine. It's fine. Don't sweat it. But these kids, they had it coming, and I taught them a lesson.
Hopefully.
So, but they were waving down for the general manager, right?
Sure.
And the general manager, who doesn't probably want to get into this, right?
Not at all.
Oh. He's willing to
This is
talk.
quite
He's
funny.
willing to talk, but we were just so busy at the time, and it seemed so out of my character.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was just wondering how often that happens because
Never. Never.
Because I like to eat in restaurants. I'm really bad at that. And I can hear the kind of things that are going on around me because I usually eat at the counter because I don't like taking up a table and chairs, especially if it's busy.
Yeah.
And so I eat at the counter if they've got one.
Yeah.
Because
That and you like Jen, you know.
what?
I said that and you like Jen.
No. Okay.
Alright.
So, well, that's right. Anyway, but I can hear all kinds of little people making groans and grunts about the check or, oh, I
Sure.
didn't know that was extra, or,
Sure.
and I can hear this going on, and then I guess a lot of people are really chintzy on leaving tips. Of course, I've heard this: if your service really wasn't good, you shouldn't leave anything.
Agreed.
That's fair enough. No, that's completely fair.
End of the day, you're given a printout, and it gives a tip average just based on credit card sales because that's logged in. You can't really estimate based on cash sales. My tip average generally is about 22.5, right? So if it's way below 15, I know something is amiss. And with these kids, fuck them.
They don't seem to get it, do they?
No.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, I mean, I've been super busy and it sucks, and I know my service sucks, and I'll make nothing that day, and I'm like, fair enough. I keep my job. He didn't say anything cool. I understand. I have way more tables than I'm even allowed to have, but there's an open seating policy. I've been on the phone with the owner of the place that he works for before, like at a table, like I need help. Why? Because it's me and a hostess here, and that's it, and the restaurant is full. Like, I'll take your drink order. I'll be back in 20 minutes, and like I don't know what to tell these people.
I've been on occasions where I've been in a restaurant and it's usually a very good restaurant, but all of a sudden somebody didn't show up, and
Yeah, that
there's
happens
one or
too.
two people, and I've actually had a waitress or waiter say, "Well, we're kind of behind because somebody didn't come in." Well, that's perfectly understandable. So
Yeah, or like the convention center lets out, and all of a sudden you have 30,000 people running around. They literally have 30 minutes to eat and go back.
I would have given you $8 to start stocking fucking glasses. I'd give you
Yeah.
a fucking wedge salad. Just fucking.
Did you
Chip
make
in a little bit.
Did
Yeah.
you make a lot of money during the Grand Prix? I mean, was
No, you never make any money during Grand Prix ever.
are they just kept inside there? They can't get out, or what?
deters business a lot because there's no access to it for normal traffic. Like you have to call people that made reservations from, let's say, January and Grand Prix in April. Like, sorry, you can't get here unless you have Grand Prix tickets. How much are Grand Prix tickets? $50. And then you have to pay $20 for parking and then walk another mile and then cross over 3 bridges. Like, I'll have my grandma with me. I'm like, well, there's no, you can get here, but it's still going to cost you $800 just to come eat here. And like, just
That's
How big is that van? $800?
what van?
$800 for people to come into the restaurant?
No van. No, you have to pay
oh,
for
yeah, like
tickets.
a shuttle. Is that what you mean? Like a
Oh
shuttle?
no.
No, you have to pay for tickets and you have to pay for parking.
Sure.
Parking is $50. Tickets are $50. That's $100 a person before you even walk in the fucking place.
All right.
Pardon my
So-
language.
So when we're in the Grand Prix, it's hard to get on that side of the that area by the water.
Very, very tough.
So that means you're all the people. If you're not connected to the Grand Prix, then you're not getting very many clientele.
You're in the area of the Grand Prix, and this is another thing that the Grand Prix people don't realize because it's always sponsored by either Tecate or this year it was Coors. You can walk in the front gates, up on Ocean and Pine, and buy a $12 Coors Light, or you go to the restaurant and just pay the regular beer, and like get like a nice. I don't even know what the hell you guys have on tap anymore. You can get a Guinness or a nice craft beer for $6, but you already have your Tecate, which you're allowed to walk around and watch the race with the Tecate or Coors Light cup, but you can't take any beers out of a restaurant. So nobody goes there.
Oh, okay, wow. Because I know ever since they started the Grand Prix in the '70s,
Yeah,
they used
it's
to,
what,
they
29th
they
year, I think, right
used to
now.
have it
40th,
downtown. Now
40th.
it's, but I didn't know that they had done that where you made it difficult to get on that one side.
Yeah,
I've been working on a slingshot for like 4 years.
A catapult.
Catapult.
I keep landing people right at Hooters, but like that's building material. If I can get them in the water, that's a safe landing. Yeah, fine, but and Hooters is pissed.
They're hiring. Bobby.
Ka-tunk, ka-tunk. What was that? And you see some poor bastard slide off the side of the building.
Yeah, they just recently had a big shift in when I think where the movie theaters are. It was a gaming place, KDB, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was previously.
And now I
Gameworks,
think
then
it's now it's
KDB,
just a retail store.
H&M.
H&M, okay. And they keep fooling
I
around.
got
in the
that one way wrong,
they-
man. I went in there. I was like, man.
And where the
fuck is this
Ferris
shit?
wheel is, they
Sorry.
tore some buildings down there and made it open. And they keep fiddling around. So what's the grand, do you know any grand design for that entire area?
To
including-
make things
so-
worthy of 2020, LA hosting Summer Olympics.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You
with
know,
that,
so
yeah.
look around downtown Long Beach. You're gonna find 6, maybe 7 big old cranes. There's a lot of construction happening in downtown Long Beach. A lot of building. Look at City Place. That's
a
blowing
lot
up.
of condos, lofts, things like that. What they're trying to do for the grand scheme of downtown is make it like a New York. So it's you build up and you have so many residents that live above the city that it'll support the community that's on the ground floor, like clothing shops and coffee shops, things like that. Huge issue is they keep trying to bring in other people from other cities, but there's no parking. Like you said, you have to park far away, but that's the parking available for that area, and you still have to pay for it, and it doesn't matter. I mean, an hour and a half validation, and it takes you a half hour to walk to Chili's. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, I was just curious. Now, the example of what they're doing over in San Pedro is the Port Secol has been ripped out. I remember when it opened. I don't remember when it opened, but I used to go down there.
Oh yeah, I used to love it.
And then I just went down
Get a
there.
lobster like that.
Yeah, and now it's from what you just said, they've raised all of it, or most of it.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Wow, and they're going to call something called the Fish Market or the San Pedro Market or something. Are they going to build any more restaurants along the area where you're at? Where the little boats dock and everything. Are they going to do anything more to that, as far as construction goes?
Like the San Pedro or the?
Oh no, I'm
Pine Avenue?
sorry. I meant the Long Beach Pike area.
you have to understand that whole area is built on an essential landfill.
Right.
You know, that was, I mean, like unless
it's a
unless they plan
new land.
unless they plan on going to Home Depot and putting a bunch of like, you know, your aquarium salt, your aquarium rocks down and filling up, you know, some area, and then like putting in a tiki hut. Yeah, good luck. But for the most part, that little area is enclosed, and it's you've seen the aerial shot for where the lighthouse is.
Yeah.
Right? The lighthouse has a spiral pattern, just looking directly down on it. Spiral
A
pattern.
pathway, right? Is that
The bike path,
Bike path.
right? And it leads all the way down past the aquarium, all the strip restaurants, down to just west of Gladstone's to a Nautilus. And there's sometimes they have an amphitheater sort of set up right there. But like that's already pretty much a done deal. Like I don't see them expanding any further. Why would they? Because at some point, you know, we're no longer on land at this point. It's just a seabed. So
during earthquake they call liquefaction, and the whole thing could go right in.
yeah, earthquake. Yeah. You want to see this man run 30 miles an hour? I'll be Usain Bolt right up Pine Avenue. Yeah, I'll be Signal Hill in record time.
Why are you
Not
wearing
a
that
problem.
life vest?
Yeah, with a cigarette in my mouth, just fucking giggling.
I know a person that's trying to get the roller coaster built back.
Oh, the Cyclone
The
Racer.
0.5 scale.
Pardon?
There's a 0.5 scale model, right? The half scale model, right?
Yeah, but he wants to do it like they want to build it exactly the way it was.
The Wild Cyclone.
Yeah.
They can't build the way it was, because the way it was originally an ocean. Everything past ocean is new land. It's all landfill. They created the land. So it's kind of fluctuating all the time. Even the Ferris wheel's iffy. And if they do the Cyclone Racer, which was an all-wood roller coaster, it's the kicker of it was you go around and you go over the water, which would be where the aquarium is now, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you'd be flying over shark tanks and seals and shit. And
Well, I
Sounds
know
awesome.
I see your
Yeah.
point about its actual physical. From what I understand, that impressionistic design that goes over it is supposed to be where the cyclone was.
that's what they intended, and it just never kind of
doesn't
developed.
look like it.
No, everyone's like, "Where's the roller coaster?" There's a big sign about it, and I'm like, "Nah, it's just a walkway." Where does the walkway go? I'm like, "It goes to Hooters."
One of the things I was curious about when we're talking about general managers, or we're going to talk about general managers, if somebody calls in and complains, do they actually follow up on a complaint, or do they think it's legitimate?
Absolutely, and this is why, and it sounds really stupid, but let's say I have a customer complaint. I'll tell my manager that's on site, and I'll be like, "All right, this is what happened. They forgot to put a steak on there. They want it well done. It takes 20 minutes to cook it that way anyway. It didn't hit the grill till I checked on it, which was 15 minutes. So it's going to be a 45-minute steak." So you get this, and you tell that manager, and then the manager goes over and apologizes to him. They're like, "Oh, I want to speak to your supervisor," and the supervisor, let's say, general manager will send him an email back and apologize and send him a gift card. But the whole point for that process is so the owner or whoever's above the general manager doesn't get that. They're like, everything looks gold. So it's a facade. It's, "Oh, I'm so sorry about this. Let me get you my supervisor," and then it's like a side of recognition of your complaint. So it's, "Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. Let me get you my supervisor," but it never goes beyond that.
The point of a general manager is to simply generally manage.
Yeah, and delegate.
So,
So
although it's up the hierarchy, the guy's already spinning 10 other plates. And your mac and cheese coming out tepid is sort of a lesser concern than $3,000 worth of halibut coming in that's warm, that you have to ship back and tell everybody, "Look, we're not selling halibut." But that's more on the general manager's plate, not the warm halibut, but shipping it back and telling everybody, "Hey, listen, our halibut special is not happening tonight." you know.
So
But-
he'll actually ship the stuff back with a big complaint.
Of
Right?
course,
You
of
have
course.
to.
Oh,
Well-
if anything comes back, if there's a halibut or say an ahi tuna that comes in that doesn't have a smile on its face, Chef Pete will send it right the fuck back. You know.
If you go into a fish restaurant and it smells like fish, you don't eat there.
I've heard that. If it smells, it's old.
Yeah, don't. It like you can like if you ever eat sushi or sashimi or anything like that. I mean, you can cut it. It doesn't smell. I mean, it should melt like butter in your mouth. If you walk into a place and it smells like fish, leave.
In our defense, the restaurant I worked at used to be a brothel in the 50s. So some
In
might,
England.
some might say there is a
It was
flavor of the air.
in
Flavor of the
England.
Yeah. You know, you go to San Francisco, you get the fog. You go to some parts of
Things-
Long Beach.
Oh. I need a hair trim after that. Oh, wow. Oh,
Hair trim
God.
wear. That's the more peculiar part. But
Yeah, I can see they're going to put this on late at night.
Turn it.
It was a brother. So there must have been things left over on the walls.
Yeah.
that's happened too. And one of them was our dishwasher trying to look at a waitress in the bathroom.
Trying to look at, oh, really? In the
Yeah.
bathroom? Did
Drilled a fucking hole in the wall.
he?
Yeah. This guy punched him in the face. It was funny.
Yeah, he actually tried to do that. Or
No, he
do it.
did. No, he did.
No, it was comical. It was damn near National Lampoon. You know, like we'll say it's filmed from the other side, so you see it all boring out on the inside, and like, and his little eye is reaching somebody else's eye. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this?
He actually had a drill and did that.
It's like,
No, he had to have like one of those old like hand
Yeah,
drills
hand
because
one.
it didn't make any noise or something. He went in there.
Jeez.
His name was El Burro.
El Burro.
The donkey.
No.
That was.
He
I
wished.
don't even know his real name, but
he was fired,
yeah.
and
dish
so
wa-
was the guy that rode him home. Because he's a burro.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I've heard about the taped phones underneath the sinks and all that.
No.
Was this
that
pre-taped
doesn't
phones?
happen. No, that was just a.
One interesting aspect, and I'll get into this, is that how many nasty things are done by the kitchen people to food.
Never.
I've seen very few. I have been concerned once or twice. I've seen, and again, mostly, if it's produce, when in doubt, trash it. If it's protein, that's where the money is. So, I've seen cooks never do anything, as far as horror stories that you hear, like sexual natures for that thing, whatever. And clam chowder is really hot. You don't want to, stick anything in there.
Did you just say horror stories for hamburgers and clam chowder, and that's hot?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Disgusting.
But anyway, but I have seen people drop a uncooked chicken breast on the floor and immediately pick it back up and throw it in the grill, and I'm like,
What?
dude,
Not at the restaurant I work at.
that was the same place.
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
Who threw it on the floor?
No, not thrown on the floor, dropped it.
Dropped, okay.
Dropped it, but he didn't want to take the bite and get yelled at for a chicken breast for some reason, which.
So there aren't those horrible stories.
well, maybe the reason I still work there is that if I see something foul like that happen, I call
Is that
somebody
a play
out.
on words?
Foul, like a chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Use that. But if I'm in the break room and somebody from the back of the house goes back there, I'm just drinking my iced tea in the break room, and I don't hear the sink running after I hear the toilet flushing,
Uh-huh.
I'm the first one to look at him and say,
Did you?
"Limpiar los manos."
Oh,
Go.
yeah.
And they say, "Fuck you, booby." And I say, "Well, fuck me. Wash your hands. Wash your hands." It's no joke to me.
So they-
it's no joke to me because if I
Yeah.
plan on serving that product, I want to be able to eat that product. And if you're not going to wash your damn hands over something stupid or serve the wrong product,
I see a lot of people, not just, people have come in and done their thing at the in the restroom, but never washed their hands. I know, and I'm not talking about servers or people, just other, clientele. They just don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of find that's weird.
and it's a high volume business. You know, it's called turn and burn. You want to serve people and make sure they have a good time, get out, and you know, the more people that get in there, and you have your it's called a PPA. It's per person average. That's what the cost is. So if your PPA is like $32, you have a soda, a cup of chowder, and a burger. It's whatever, but yeah, keep it going. But you know, if you have a place that seats 300 people, you might see what 1,200 people a day if it's busy. Or Mother's Day, 4,000. That's a lot of hands.
Yeah.
So
You get a lot of people during the lunch hour during the week in that area.
There's conferences that happen. Long Beach hosts thousands and thousands of people at the convention center, as well as the Carnival cruise ship terminal that hosts 10 to 20,000 people coming off a cruise ship for a few days at a time, let alone a free shuttle that drops you off at Shoreline Village and also in front of the restaurant. So even during the week, you're going to get businessmen from Pine Avenue, you're going to get conventioners from Long Beach Convention Center, and if there's a cruise ship in town, you're going to get, you know, people with suitcases.
yeah.
You know, they did a report on the nightly business report. They're saying that sit-down restaurants are on the decline, and everybody's going for faster food. The fast food places are kind of upping the ante a little bit. They're putting a little bit of better seating, kind of mood lighting, and they're getting kind of nice. But they're still fast food restaurants.
Horses and donkeys eat standing up too,
And do they also do the other?
but they don't tip either.
Oh.
Something to think about.
Ah.
But by sitting down, I think it encourages an environment where you're sort of inclusive and you have somebody sort of taking care of you, sort of curating your experience there.
Right. Well, TIPS is an acronym. Is to ensure proper service.
Prompt.
Prompt service. Proper prompt. Same thing. So it's literally an acronym. It was developed in the 20s.
So do you believe that the sit-downs are on the decline, or
No.
holding on, or is it location?
Location helps.
And parking. Parking is
Oh.
a major issue.
Taco trucks are nice.
Taco trucks are nice. Did you
Yeah,
say?
I mean, like it's.
Never touched one. I like sitting down in a restaurant.
Sometimes they put out a couple, you know, patio chairs.
No, it probably hit its peak around 2002, 2004, I'd say. And again, is one of the reasons that they're so expensive is because so much is wasted in like let's say labor. If you have a place that seats 300 people and you staff it for a place that seats 300 people, you might need 2 people to run the place if it's slow. So it doesn't make any sense to have 30 people on staff to take care of 4 or 5 people ordering fish and chips.
Well, for instance, that restaurant on Port Sacal, the large, I think it's called Port Sacal Restaurant, which is, we've been there a long time. My parents used to love to eat there.
Yeah, I went there
And,
as a
and
kid.
they do a lot of weddings and special events there. And almost every time that I used to go down there just to cool off,
Yeah.
there would always be some sort of event going.
Yeah, I took a helicopter out of there one time. It was fun. It was
And now I understand it's been ripped out. That they were trying to save that.
No,
But-
it's still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
They've leveled everything else, from what I
Fish
understand.
market's still there.
There's a fish market because they.
A lot of the other.
Well, it's one long strip basically, and
Right.
then
Yeah, but the fish market still is there.
just the fish market because there used to be like an oyster shack and then
Yeah,
lobster.
I know the fish market's there. I don't know what else is going.
Because it used to be like one like strip, almost like a.
At the one end, I know the buildings are.
No,
At the north end, yeah.
that might be the only one left.
Because they were always busy. I mean, I seemed like they never had a slow day. And I used to go down there during the weekdays. I'd leave Long Beach and go back to LA, and it was cool. And I used to do the sunsets down there and watch the.
I still go there for Busy Bee's pastrami sandwiches.
Oh, how dare you! I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
A little bit.
When's the last time you saw a salad bar?
It's
Because
been
remember
some
in the 80s,
Yeah.
it came with, like, you know, prime rib salad bars next to $5.
Well,
Well, yeah, Sizzler.
Yeah, Sizzler.
Yeah.
God damn it.
$12 for the salad.
Thanks.
One on,
Thanks,
Long-
Gary.
Long
No, that's a
Beach-
perfect example.
Long Beach and Dahoma. It says
Perfect. Thanks, Gary. Sizzler. I will tell a story. So I have a
Sorry.
sweet old lady, Florence, who turned 90 like last month, And on Fridays we go grocery shopping, go to Aldi, you know, and make her little appointments. We go to Costco. She has to have muscle milk because she weighs 89 pounds, right?
Oh,
so like I have to pick up the Costco muscle milk and put it in the cart. She can't. Ironic, huh?
Pencil thin arms.
She can't pick up the muscle milk. Lugs me around. So anyway, we're giving Florence her fucking muscle milk for weeks, and she knocks on the door, and she's like, you know what? I need to go to the doctor. I feel like I've lost weight. And I'm like, okay. It's like, well, I'll see you in a second. I'm like, yeah, fine. I'll go walk the dog. Come back, and she's in an full-on old lady suit. It's like a felt woman's suit from the 50s or whatever. But I'm like, why are you dressed so special? She's like, well, if I'm gonna get weighed in the same clothes I was wearing when they weighed me the first time. I'm like, well, goddamn, where's your top hat? Let's go. You know. So we go to the doctor's office, and they weigh her. It takes 5 minutes. She comes out, and she's like, we should celebrate. I gained 3 pounds. I didn't want to tell her she looked fat, but it's like, yeah, you're right. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. She's like, do you know of a Sizzler? I'm like, I hadn't seen a goddamn Sizzler in 10 fucking years. I mean, I remember what. Yeah, let's do it. Sure. So I Google it. I'm just
sirloin and
playing
shrimp,
along. Sure enough, 0.5 miles away, there's a Sizzler in a burnt out parking lot. I mean, like, it's not even, there's not lines. It's gravel. It's like, I think it's on Del Amo.
Yeah, Del Amo Long Beach.
Yeah. So it's a step back into 1984, and the whole car ride there, she's telling me like, Sizzler's known for their steaks, but I tell you what, they have the best macaroni and cheese you've ever had. I'm like, best
Macaroni and cheese.
Whatever. So we get there, and it's this sort of interaction where you walk into the place, you got to pay for your food first, and then you can walk into the galleys, and then you got your salad bar, and then they bring you your food. Just keep the hobos out, I think. The hobos trip on gravel, I guess.
but there's one on every corner trying to put change.
So, we get to the line, and she's like, well, I don't see macaroni and cheese on your menu. And the guy is like, well, ma'am, we haven't had macaroni and cheese for probably 10 years. I'm like, 10 years? Last time whatever. And she's like, okay, well, I'll just have the salad bar. I'm like, fucking make it 2. We're celebrating. It's like a damn salad bar. Just loading in some random shit. And the guy
Did you send it back?
No, the guy behind the counter, though, a sweetheart of a guy. Obviously, there's pasta salad in this freaking buffet. He mixed it with some cheese sauce, and he brought her over a little plate of mac and cheese. And
cool.
This is a little tiny one. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Well, good, Florence, eat your mac and cheese. How is it? She's like, it's not as good as I remembered. I'm like, would you shut the fuck up? I don't say that. But I'm like, well, I'm going to use this piece of toast to soak up the rest of that cheese. Florence, get your shit together. Hit the soft serve machine and relax. Fucking Sizzler. Fucking Sizzler.
Well, I certainly enjoyed this conversation, and I guess we'll have to wrap this baby up. Anyway, I've got Bobby Kronk and Matt Brown. I finally got the names right. This has been The Station. I'm Carlos Lumix, and we're signing off for now.